What's up everyone, your friendly neighborhood onesie guy here, coming at you with another card review. So yesterday I didn't put anything up, we're just a little bit run down. I haven't put out this much videos back to back ever, and I didn't realize how much it would actually take out of me doing this many videos. I also do want to thank everyone for the support and all the stuff I've put out already. But yeah, I just took a breather yesterday, and instead of putting out Friday's cards yesterday, I'm just going to put the video out today, just before the new special announcement comes out. So yeah, we've got a secret announcement coming up in about 30 minutes, which I really want to know what it's about. I mean, it could be anything from a new class to a new card type. I don't want to go too big with my expectations, but before I continue to ramble, today's cards are very much of the sunken variety, and you'll see what I mean by that a little bit later on. So without further ado, let's get into the cards. So first up today is we have a 2-mana 2/2 Naga for Demon Hunter, Wayward Sage. Outcast, reduce the cost of the left and rightmost minions in your hand by 1. So as a baseline card, 2-mana 2/2, it's okay, it's not terrible. As it's pretty easily, if you get this in your starting hand, to get it into out card position and play it quite easily. At the moment, Demon Hunter, Quest Demon Hunter, and especially Quest Demon Hunter that most people run is a very quick deck, and it obviously the whole point of it is to reduce the cost of the cards in your hand. Before it was for other combo pieces. At the moment it is more for the Kurtrus line. So would this fit into the Kurtrus line at the moment? Yes, it gives you more card reduction. It could also just possibly fit into other synergies, other Naga synergies, with Naga and spell synergies, how they work at the moment. So do I see this card working? Yeah, I don't see any position where this card would not see play. Just at the base cost, 2-mana reduce 2 is pretty decent, and especially if they are other cards that you put into outcast position and you need to play at that turn. You could be more card draw to continue your quest. It could be something that you just now reduce that you can play on board because of other things that have happened during your turn. So this could definitely find its way into a multitude of decks. I still need to see what kind of other Naga spell synergies Demon Hunter is going to throw out, but definitely in the current way things are working with the Kurtrus as well as the Quest, I can see this finding its way in there just for additional card reduction. And then we come into our first sunken cards. So there's a whole bunch of these we're going to look at today. And for my things, sunken cards are basically the lock, or let's say to the key to the dredge lock. So sunken cards put stuff at the bottom of the deck. We've seen 1 or 2 now, and they've just released a bunch of them here. So the first one is a 3-mana 4/2 mech for paladin with divine shield. A battle cry, put a sunken mooncatcher at the bottom of your deck. Sorry, the card is a Shaman mooncatcher, and then the sunken mooncatcher is a 3-mana 4/2 mech with divine shield and battle cry. Summon a copy of this. So pretty much, if you count everything together, that is 3 mana for 12/6 worth of stats, which is a lot of stats with divine shield. So that is pretty cool. Again, we've seen two kind of things been happening with paladin. We've seen the big holy spells one, and we've seen mechs trying to make its way in. So these could fall into both. You run some dredge cards in there, get this to the top of your deck, you can fill your board pretty easily. If there's more mech synergies that comes into paladin, I could see this getting played just as it is. However, a lot more people are more inclined to the spell version, the big holy spell version, and the buff version of it, which I can understand why. Making minions bigger and making things bigger is always a lot more fun. However, with this mech, personally, I'm a more on-board kind of guy, so I like drawing out the battles and having fights in this for the mana cost, I think is a really powerful mech. And if we can go ahead and build a proper mech paladin or even a holy mech paladin combination, which it does seem like it could definitely happen. I would personally want to see this card in play. It just has a lot of great stats, a lot of value, and we're going to get some other cards that's going to have to shuffle your deck, etc. So this may not always end up at the bottom of your deck for the entire game without using Dredge, but we'll see what other stuff comes up in the last reveals before we can come back and make decisions on certain cards. But I do think personally this is going to be quite a powerful card, and for a mech paladin deck, even a hand buff or board buff deck, this is pretty good in its stats just because it has that divine shield as well. Next up we have a Shaman Ritual, a 4-mana spell for Priest. Silence a minion and summon a copy of it. Put a Sunken Ritual at the bottom of your deck. We're going to look at Sunken Ritual, silence a minion, and summon 2 copies of it. So where would you want to silence a particular minion? On your own side, obviously we have cards where if you've stolen cards from your opponent, we silence our own minions for their death rattles, and you get 2 of those. Additionally, enemy minions, they might have big stat minions on board like Moog, and that gives them 8 armor. You don't want them to get that 8 armor, but an 8 attack and 8/8 card is still quite powerful, so you can go ahead and silence that minion and get 2 copies of it for yourself. There's obviously also ways to bounce minions back to your hand and res minions in Priest, so this can definitely work a lot in possibly even a res priest deck. We've seen res priest in the past be a very powerful and very annoying thing. So that could definitely come back in a big way with this. Silence in itself, we do have other cards that silence minions for a lower cost than that, but straight up silencing a minion for 4 mana and summoning a copy of it can be very beneficial. So can obviously summoning 2 copies of it can be very, very beneficial in that way. So this could also work into some other builds that we'll see how that works. I mean, there is a certain build that comes to mind. I won't mention it now. I first want to test it out with this card. But you can definitely work into some certain death rattle builds. Even though you're silencing the minion, there's a certain minion that the death rattle I think counts, even though or the later death rattles count. So even if you silence a couple before, once you get to that 7th minion, you're going to go ahead and summon something really big. So this could work really well in Priest in general. I don't see a reason why someone would not want to run this unless there's a specific build that you're looking for, but this just seems to be a pretty powerful card all round. Next up we have a 4-mana 3/3 beast for Hunter, a Shaman Saber, Rush, and Death Rattle. Put a Sunken Saber on the bottom of your deck. We have a look at the Sunken Saber there, Rush and Death Rattle. Summon a beast from your deck. So pretty straightforward. Can work in a lot of ways. More so the Sunken Saber summoning a beast if you're running a specific beast you want to get out. If you've been copying beasts and putting it into your deck at more powerful, making them more powerful and summoning it out, it can be pretty good. If you're going for just a straight up beast build, it can work really well. However, for 4 mana, the base stats on this 4 mana 3/3 is not that great. Having Rush is okay, and then the Sunken Saber just summoning another beast. It doesn't let you select the beast, doesn't discover the beast and let you summon it. So it's pretty random. You could end up summoning a 1/1. You could end up summoning a Wolpertinger, and you can't then use the Wolpertinger's battle cry, so it just becomes a plain 1/1 with Rush. So I don't see this card under normal circumstances getting play. I may be wrong. There may be specific beast builds that would run this, that would be happy to run this, as you could put 2 or more of these into your deck, possibly buff the amount of beasts, or the buff the beasts in your deck and just pull anything out, and they'll be pretty dangerous. So maybe a deck buff beast build would work around this, but at the moment I don't see this card as very powerful, and I don't think it will see much play. Then we have a Shaman Scavenger, a 3-mana 3/4 Murloc for Warlock. I was hoping we'd get more Warlock Murlocs. It's just always fun to say. A battle cry, put a Sunken Scavenger at the bottom of your deck, and the Sunken Scavenger's battle cry is give your other Murlocs +1/+1 wherever they are. So like we mentioned before, it does look like they're trying to go for a Warlock Murloc build, which is not uncommon in the past. We have already seen a build around like that. The Murlocs that we have seen already for Warlock, I mean, even the I think the colossal minion even feeds into that as well. So we'll just have to see what else this can do. Again, depending how many Murlocs you have in your deck, this could prove pretty powerful. Again, we'll have to take a look at how powerful the other Murlocs are, and also what Murlocs come in with the rotation again, with the base set rotation. So personally, this, as much as I love playing Murlocs, I don't see this being a massively powerful swing, so I don't think at the moment a Murloc Warlock deck will get any play at all, especially, you know, while quest lines are still there and the fatigue lines at the moment are still there. I don't see this getting any play at all, unfortunately. Next up, a 1-mana spell for Shaman, a Sharon Scroll. Discover a fire, frost, or nature spell. Put a Sunken Scroll at the bottom of your deck, and the Sunken Scroll, add a fire, frost, and nature spell from your class to your hand. So straight up, 1-mana discover spell, you know, is already very powerful. That in its own, and then once you get to Sunken Scroll, adding random of every one of those classes of spells to your hand, I think is extremely strong, especially with the cards we've seen already. The very powerful Shaman Elemental that utilizes different effects for each of the different spell schools mentioned here. I said I was very excited to play that card, and a Sharon Scroll and Sunken Scroll make me even more excited to play that, and play that real, maybe not even burn Shaman, but just full-on elemental Shaman, not in the sense of an elemental minion, but using the elements as a Shaman is supposed to, just to destroy your opponent, to gain health, to you know, having cost reductions. It's going to be crazy what they're releasing for Shaman, and bringing Shaman back to a more multi-leveled deck rather than just having either burn Shaman or free Shaman at the moment, which free Shaman can get kind of boring and frustrating. It's just, oh, you freeze the board, you play something else, it reads a battle cry to freeze the board again. It's kind of boring. This adds a lot more flavor and a lot more variety to the decks, so 100% this card will see play without a doubt. Next up, we have a Sunken Trident, a 3-mana 3/2 weapon for warrior. Death Rattle, put a Sunken Trident at the bottom of your deck, and the Sunken Tridents, after your hero attacks, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Again, playing more into the warrior weapon build, which we've seen a lot of cards coming out for to try and support this. This in itself, as a base weapon, 3-mana 3/2 is not bad at all. The Sunken Trident itself is obviously a little more powerful, adding that deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So you can go face, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. However, The only thing that you'd basically get more of in this case would be, you know, that build being adding more attack to the weapon and more durability to the weapon. As a weapon on its own, yeah, I don't see a reason to specifically run this. It doesn't draw you any cards. You still have to wait to get the Sunken Trident to really get the you know, the actual potential of this card to actually get its maximum potential out. You have to get the Sunken Trident, and you may not find a way to get that at the bottom of your deck for a while. So as much as they are pushing for Weapon Warrior to be a thing, I still don't see as this particular weapon being powerful enough to be run in a warrior deck currently. Again, I might be proven wrong. There might be an insanely powerful Weapon Warrior build that comes out, but personally, I do not see this as a very strong card, just because the amount of time you may have to wait for it to get any kind of payoff. And lastly, we have Nagas Pride, a 3-mana spell for Hunter. Summon 2/2/2 lionfish. If you played a Naga while holding this, give them +1/+1. You know, we know hunters like spells, and at the moment, you know, with Face Hunter, as well as you know, the Quest Hunter, both are very strong. This would obviously fit more into a Face Hunter deck. It's giving you stats on board if you've played a Naga the previous turn, and there are Nagas that are going to be, that are under 3 mana that you are going to be able to play. You play this out, and you know, you're basically summoning 6/6 worth of stats, which is pretty good to just have on board. You know, then playing other spells from hand to buff them, give them rush, etc. They all are beasts as well, so that fits very nicely into the archetype and the theme of a hunter. You may even get some other cards that, you know, will give your beasts rush or beasts immune, or, you know, add some extra effects to these things. And this is a very good early game turn 3 6/6 worth of stats on the board is not always that easy to deal with. Just putting down pressure pretty early. Even if you've played, maybe we will still get a 1-mana Naga, and you play a 1-mana Naga out, you can coin this on turn 2, and you've got a pretty insane board by that time. So I definitely think this fits into the can fit into the Face Hunter way of thinking, where it's just putting down massive minions on board, buffing those minions and hitting you in the face, especially with a lot of these stuff that Face Hunter currently uses being rotated out at the end of this year. So personally, I think this will find a place in the Face Hunter deck. Whether or not I'll be correct, I don't know. Like I said, it does have its downsides of having to also run Naga in your deck and having to have played a Naga to get the full benefit of this. But even 3 mana for 2/2/2s is not that bad. 3 mana for 4/4 worth of stats is also not that terrible. So personally, I can see this being run in a deck, Face Hunter style deck. However, some people may see it differently, and then this one may not see any play whatsoever. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can take a look at my previous videos where I've done some other card reviews, obviously. And I'm going to go now and go and see this big mystery reveal that's going to happen in a couple of minutes. So I will most likely be dropping another video in about half an hour explaining what that big mystery reveal is, if it is anything worth explaining right now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're watching this from, and I'll speak to you guys again soon. Bye for now.